Topic of the week, shoes. Okay, quick Ironman tip of the week. I'm going to talk about injury. Okay, I mentioned earlier I've got a shoulder issue. For those of you who are new to triathlon or new to volume training, you've signed up for Ironman. You're looking at your schedule and you're starting to put on the miles. You are inevitably going to have aches and pains. It just is part of the process. What you didn't feel in a 3, 4, 5 mile run, you're starting to feel in a 7, 8, 9, 10 mile run. And it happens. It happened to me. And, you don't know what you're feeling or experiencing. You kind of panic a little bit and you think, do I need to go to the doctor? Do I need to check it out? Or do I need to stop? But I've got to keep training. And my advice is ignore it. 9 times out of 10, it'll just go away. It'll numb out. And it's a matter of joint, tendon, tissue, stretching. You're just putting it under some pressure, and it's okay. It's going to go away. I call it like a bad neighbor. You know them. You sometimes have to deal with them, but eventually they go home and they go away. And so now, of course, I had a foot injury that I couldn't shake and had to deal with going with a different shoe. I have this shoulder injury that's a known injury that I had years ago, and I have to kind of nurse a little bit. But encourage you to, when you're starting to put on volume and you feel a little tweak in the knee or your ankle or your foot, or I would say just push through it and know that it is more than likely a little growing pain. Just set it aside. And of course, if it, I'm no doctor, so don't take my advice as medical. But those are the things. Ironman training, long distance training, is all about overcoming fear, and this is one of them: fear of injury, fear of hurting yourself where you have to stop, and so push through it. Don't let those things scare you. That's my tip of the week.
Hey everybody, it's week 2, swim day, Tuesday. We just had some rain, which was really kind of nice. Most of the time we get these chance of rain forecasts and they end up nothing. But I'll bet we got over an inch in about an hour, maybe an inch and a half in about an hour. And so it knocked the temperature down. It's I think in the mid 80s right now. Humidity, different story, but temperature is really not too bad. So happy about that. Swim day, I've got 2,500 yards swim. Looks like I've got 500 warm up and then some sets of 400s. The first set's easy. Second is paced a little faster than the first, and then the third set is just mix up the strokes. I'm not much of a swimmer, so I pretty much do my crawl or maybe a really ugly looking breaststroke, and then I do a 300 kick with fins and the board. Promote just some lower body strength and technique. Really keep the ankles bent and knees sort of straight, with a slight bend, mainly, from working from the hips. So that's what that's about. And then some 50s, just some drills. Mixing it up a little bit. Mainly it's just the mileage, just getting the yards in the pool, getting wet. So that's what it's about today, and I'll give you a recap in a bit. All right, well, swim is done. It was actually a pretty good swim, or a pretty good session. I think I mentioned to you my right shoulder. So I'm starting to feel it already, which is really disappointing because I got months and months of swim work to do, and I really didn't need it to start acting up so soon. I'm going to try to do some stretches and maybe go to the gym and do a little light high rep workout if I've got time. I don't know what to do about it. It's only going to put more stress on it. So I'm going to lay off the paddles. I did some paddle work the other day, and every time I do that, it puts too much pressure on that shoulder. It doesn't feel like it at the time, but so I've just got to really take it easy and not overdo it so soon. Otherwise, good swim. My breathing felt better. Stroke catch felt better. So all in all, good workout. We will catch you tomorrow.
All right, another good ride. It's Wednesday, and that was a 20-mile aerobic. Pretty run-of-the-mill. A little cooler this afternoon. I don't know exactly what it is. It's probably a 93, I think, or so. Let me tell you, that has really helped because it was a noticeable effort to stay at my ceiling heart rate. In the 100-degree ride, it's not hard, and so that's good. That makes it to me a better workout. I'm under a little more effort, a little more strain to stay at my ceiling, so got a better. To me, it's a better session. So, anyways, Bluebird Day. A little bit humid, but not too bad. It's probably 75–80%. Good ride. So tomorrow is a long run. I think it's 8 or 9 miles. See you then.
All right. Well, got my 9 miles done, and it was actually a really, really good workout. The 5 degrees cooler weather. It's not cool, but 95, 96 degrees and definitely lower humidity. Oh, made all the difference in the world. I mean, I was able to I did exactly what the doctor ordered. So I kept my heart rate about 151, 152, up to 155 for the first really 2 to 3 miles, and got into my ceiling through about 6 or so miles, maybe 7 miles. And the last 3 I kicked it up to about 166. My threshold's 161, so my threshold's 171. And so I was between my ceiling and my threshold the last few miles, and I dropped about 25 seconds a mile off my time. Maybe because my fitness has improved a little bit, but primarily it's the weather. That is really amazing. Felt good. I had to actually push to get into that range, and so clearly when that happens, that things have changed. Humidity, fitness, a combination. So very pleased with the run. Okay, so that's it. Tomorrow's we've got a swim. To be honest with you, I don't know what the yardage is, but it's probably 26 or so, and I'll fill you in tomorrow. See you then.
Okay, everyone. Friday. Just finished the swim. Had a 2,600 yard. Mainly just some 500 drills. Swim with the buoy, and I was supposed to use paddles, but I laid off of them because of this old man's shoulder I have. But pretty good swim. Feeling more and more comfortable with breathing and the stroke. Just everything feels better. So things are progressing in the water. That's great. Today's hot, a little more humid today. It's probably mid-90s, little warmer probably. But it's Friday, thank the Lord. So I got to get out of here. I got a hot date with my bride. Tomorrow I've got I think a 45, maybe 45 mile bike. So I'll catch you then, and we'll go from there. Hey everybody, Saturday morning, out for a 45-mile ride. Weather is beautiful. Look at that. Really, it is high humidity. It's about 90% humidity, but it's only like 79 degrees, so I'm sure it'll heat up over the next 3 hours, but it's pretty nice right now. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Hey, little rookie move. Just lost my water bottle. Just slipped completely out of my hands. And I don't think that's happened. I don't think that's ever happened, but I don't normally fill that our front water bottles in the top, but these longer rides are, I need to fill it up, and I don't think I was used to that weight, so anyway, it happens. And it's heated up pretty quick, but anyway, so far so good. Okay, well, end of week two. Week two training is officially in the can, so a good 45-mile ride. Pushed a little bit on the hills. Good thing is we got a little overcast, some cloud cover, which was really nice, so it kind of kept it cool. Humidity is crazy though, so no break there. Had a partner ride. This is my son Evan.
Hey guys, how's it going? This is my official day one of training.
Yeah,
so
he's 2 weeks behind.
had to let my old man show me how it's done.
And I did. So anyways, good week overall. Kind of knocking the rust off and getting in the swing of things. So we'll give a recap on the week, and we'll start week 3 on Sunday. See you then.
Okay, week 2 is in the bag. Thank the Lord. Shaking the rust off. It's been a good week, but 6-day grind is, I'm having to get used to it again. It's been a while, but been a really a good week. No complaints. We had a total of 5,100 yards in the swim. We had 66.4 miles on the bike and 14.3 miles on the run, for a total time of 7 hours and 43 minutes of active work. So pretty good week for week 2. It is going to ramp up, so just gotta settle in and know that it's coming. So weather played a huge role this week in my workouts. It's hot. It's end of July, 1st August, and I would have assumed that it was just going to be a grind with the heart rate and dealing with humidity, which I did, and it was hot. But we had a couple of days of lower humidity, even though it was still pretty warm, 5 or 6 degrees off the high temperature of 100. It made a huge difference in my mainly my run workouts, but even in my bike, I struggled to get up to my heart rate. I had to really push, which is, that's a combination of an increased effort, fitness, but also that lower humidity, a little bit lower temp, really helped. And so for the same effort or for the same heart rate, I ended up putting in a higher effort, which equals a better pace. So I think that's what I'm going to experience once I get through this month of August and things start to cool off a little bit. I'm hoping that's what will happen. Cooler weather, lower humidity, and better overall workouts and pace. Ultimately, I'm trying to speed up a little bit. So, but good week. Let's see, injury update. So I'm still, everything's pretty healthy. My shoulder is my right shoulder is kind of acting up a little bit. I'm going to see if I can do some stretches and work on that. Maybe do a little work at the gym, or just some isometrics, something to try to. I don't want to put more stress on it and just exacerbate the problem. But I know at week 2, I'm already feeling it, so I'm going to have to deal with that, unfortunately. I'll keep you up to date as we go along. Other than that, good week. Okay, we're going to talk about shoes today. This is not going to be a real in-depth discussion about shoes, but I am going to talk to you a little bit about my experience in running shoes since I started training back in, call it 2012 or so. I'm going to say of everything in your gear bag, shoes are really, in my opinion, the most important thing that investments you can buy for training, because your feet take a pounding during the week when you start for endurance, for Ironman. You just are loading up the volume and the mileage, and so your feet really take a beating. One of the most innovative things that shoe companies have done in the recent past is to improve that midsole cushioning. I think shoes 30 years ago, it was an afterthought. But today, all these shoemakers have figured it out, and so almost really all of these shoe companies have a good running shoe available. It's going to come down to wear and price, and really what your foot type is, because everybody's got a shoe for your foot. But if you can only get 250 miles out of it and you're running 30, 40 miles a week, it's a consideration. So back in 2014, when I did Ironman Texas, I was putting on, of course, a lot of miles, and I started having a problem on the top of my right foot, kind of a tendonitis issue. I don't know if it was tendonitis or stress fracture or what, but it got to the point where the pain was, I just panicked. I thought it was going to sideline me, and I wasn't going to be able to do the race. And so, but my son, Evan, who worked at a running store at the time, told me about these Hokas, kind of new on the scene back then. It's a high cushion shoe, and it's got a fairly low heel to toe drop, about a 4 millimeter drop. And I put that shoe on, and my pain went away. And so I call that Hoka the miracle shoe, because I was able to finish training, run the race, and it was saved me. So I'm kind of a pretty loyal Hoka fan. That's what I run today. I started though with a Newton Gravity, I believe is the model. This is a Newton, and it has a 5-lug. Well, it has a 5-lug now. They market this lug on the bottom of their sole in that midsole area. It's supposed to provide some feedback and so forth. Everybody's got to have something to sell. I loved my Newtons, and they stopped making that model, and I went to this Distance model, and it's not a minimalist shoe, but it doesn't have quite the cushion, and I started having trouble. So I think that's when I went to the Hoka. But everybody's foot is a little bit different. You might have a neutral foot that is fairly doesn't roll, just pretty flat on the ground. If you pronate, your foot, if you can see this your foot will fall to the inside or roll to the inside. If you supinate, you roll to the outside. There are shoes specific to your foot type which help performance, correct issues that might otherwise slow you down or cause you injury. And so these running shoes, this is a Newton, is a kind of a running specific shoe. The Brooks is a running specific shoe. And you've got Asics, which is a big brand everybody knows. Saucony, Nike's into the running shoe now, New Balance. Hoka came on the scene, like I say, 5, 6, 7 years ago. And they have hit the market, and they're exploding. I call it the old man shoe, but there are elite athletes that are running Hoka now. They're ugly, okay, no doubt about it, but it's just all about function for me anyways. And so I don't care how ugly they are. If they perform, then I'm sold. I used to wear for a short time the Ultra. It's a flat, kind of a flat. It's not a running flat. It's a cushioned shoe, but it has a zero drop. It has a, from the heel to the toe, and that helps promote that what I'm going to call is a mid foot or forefoot midfoot strike. You want to land under you, and that low heel helps promote that action. So anyway, shoes, extremely important. What I suggest you do is go to a running store and go have them look at your gait, get on the treadmill, and then have them pull 5 or 6 shoes off the shelf and run them all on the treadmill and get a feel for them, see what you like. But get some advice, because you start training long distance and you put on a lot of miles, you're going to have the right shoe on your foot, or you're headed for injury. So anyways, that's my Ironman topic of the week, and hope it helped. Okay, I want to remind everyone that we're doing these videos. We're training for Ironman to help bring awareness and raise funds for Walk With Me, which is a humanitarian initiative under Tying Vines, which is a U.S.-based nonprofit doing work for Syrian refugees in the Bekaa Valley region of Lebanon. For more information about our fundraising effort, you can check out my other videos. And at some point here in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll have an Ironman Foundation website up where you can donate. We'll have that link in the description below as it comes available. Be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can subscribe, of course, by clicking that subscribe button. If you have a friend who's interested in Ironman or triathlon, be sure and let them know so they can join us. I want to continue to grow our community. As always, thanks for watching. If you like the video, be sure and give us a thumbs up, and be sure and leave any comments in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thanks again, and we will see you next time.